Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Hatha practice. As far as props for today, please have a strap or anything that's kind of strap-like that you can use, and one of each block will likely be handy as well. When you're ready, we'll get started on the belly today, setting up in crocodile pose. You might choose to bring your soft block nearby for this one. You can place it near the top of the mat. If for any reason being on the belly doesn't work for you, then feel free to start off in child's pose. You can take the same arm expression. And if that doesn't work, then on the back is fine too. So when you're ready, come to lying down and take a moment to get yourself nice and comfortable. And then for crocodile pose, you can bring your elbows onto your prop if you're using one. Otherwise, place them to the floor in front. And then walk them forward, maybe a little closer together. Hands can stay together. And you can lower the forehead, the chin towards the floor. So find your version of the shape. If you need to modify it in any way, go for it. If the lower body needs any support here, then please add that in. And take a moment to settle in. Maybe rocking the hips a little bit here, maybe rocking the forehead. And the hands can stay pointing towards the ceiling. You could bend the elbows further and bring the hands towards the top of the head. And whatever your expression looks like, when you feel ready to find stillness, then please do. Maybe closing down the eyes. And starting to deepen the breath as you feel ready. Notice the effect that the breath has on the body. Finding a sense of space with each inhale and softening with each exhale. When you feel ready to start to move the body, Think about a gentle way to exit the pose, mindful of the shoulders. Maybe releasing the arms forward and then one hand to either side. You can lift up just a little bit, move any props out of the way. And then from here, set the hands just a little bit further apart. So maybe they're off the mat, palms flat or fingertips. Inhale, breath, lift the heart space, strange cobra. And as you exhale, dip the right shoulder, twist towards the left. Inhale, center. And second side. And keep going with your breath. One more each side. Awesome. Last inhale through center and lower down. Hands under the shoulders, press up to a tabletop position, hands and knees. And take a moment to set the hands roughly under the shoulders, the knees roughly under the hips. And you can pad the knees more here if they feel a little sensitive. When you feel ready, take a deep inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. And when you exhale, thread the left arm through underneath the right. And we won't stay. Inhale, unravel, reach the arm back up. And exhale, thread it through. Once more, just like that. Inhale and exhale. We'll now inhale, unravel, reach up. Exhale, thread the arm through. This time we'll pause so you can lower that left shoulder, the left side of the head to the floor. And if this feels uncomfortable, feel free to add a block in if you have it nearby, maybe something for the head. And check in with the rest of the body. Notice if the hips start to sway out towards the right. See if you can keep them towards midline. And then see here if there's any other expression you like to add on. Right hand can find the left. You can also do this with bent elbows. If you prefer to find a half bind, then maybe right arm behind you. Just make sure that the head, neck, and shoulders all stay quiet. And breathe here. Awesome. If the right hand is somewhere other than the floor, bring it back down. Inhale breath will unravel and reach the left arm back up towards the ceiling. Exhale breath, return both hands to the floor. If there's anything you need to reset here, then go for it. And when you're ready, inhale breath, reach the right arm high and thread it through. Inhale, unravel, reach. And same again. Inhale and exhale. A final inhale here. And thread the arm through, settle the right shoulder, the right side of the head towards the floor. And this side might feel different, so if you need to modify, if you need to take a slightly different variation to the first, then go for it. Let's start off by checking in with the hips, bring them to midline, find the expression for the top arm that works best here, and breathe into your twist. Left hand finds the floor if it's lifted. Inhale, breath, unravel, reach the right arm high, and back to your tabletop position. If you need to shake out the legs a little bit or adjust something else, then go for it. And from here, we'll send the left leg back. Option to send the right arm forward. Take a deep inhale, and then knee towards the elbow as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen, and round in. 5 more with your breath. Final one. And you complete your last round, take an inhale and stretch, and then hand and knee return to the floor, and we'll set up straight for the second side. So right leg extends behind you, maybe left arm forward, deep inhale, and knee to elbow. 6 more rounds with your breath. Inhale, stretch long, and hand and knee return to the floor. We'll bring the hips towards the heels, walk the hands in towards the knees, and come and find a kneeling shape. Feel free to take a prop between hips and heels, or maybe easy pose if that's better for the knees. Interlace the hands and then press the palms away for you. Stretch out the wrists. Hands can stay pointing forward, maybe up towards the ceiling if you wanted to get into the shoulders. Notice if the shrug muscles are up, see what you can do to find just a little sense of softness there, and then keep the back of the neck long, the chin can stay tucked. Breathe here. Awesome. Release the arms, give them a little shake out. And then reach the right arm forward, fingers pointing down, back of the hand forward. And then with the left hand, gently pull the fingers towards that right elbow. See if you can find a nice stretch through the outside of the wrist. And release. We'll keep the same hand, now point the palm forward, and same motion, fingertips towards the elbow. And give the right hand a little shake out. And then we'll do the same on the left, fingers pointing down, back of the hand forward to begin with. Breathe into your stretch. Release and flip the palm forward. Same action. Awesome. Release the left side as well. Give the hand a shake. Give both wrists a little shake out. And from here, we'll swing the legs around and come and find your seat. Bring the feet down to the floor. You might scoop the flesh of the bum out of the way. You can also sit on a soft block if the tailbone wants a little more support. And we'll set up for boat pose here, but for this expression, we'll have the arms extended up overhead. So if this compromises the low back in any way, it may feel more secure to keep the feet on the floor the whole time. You can also come to tippy toes. If it feels okay in your body to lift the feet up, then please do. And of course, if this expression doesn't work for you, you can take the hands wider. You can bring the hands to prayer. But if you're here with me, keep breathing that length from the tailbone to the fingertips. Back of the neck stays long. Maybe close the eyes to challenge the balance. Last couple of deep breaths. Maybe the face can soften a little bit. All right. Release the feet, release the arms. Give the arms and legs a little shake out. Maybe lean on the hands, give the chest, the belly a little stretch here as well. And when you're ready, we'll swing the legs around, come to a tabletop position. And setting the hands, spreading the fingers nice and wide apart. And then we'll tuck the toes and lift the knees and press the hips up and back to downward facing dog. You might pedal the heels out here a little bit, stretch out the back line of the legs. Maybe sway the hips. The head can nod yes and no. The hands stay actively pressing into the floor. And find that length from the tailbone to the fingertips, from the tailbone to the heels. Even here, notice, are the shoulders near the ears? What would you have to do to give them a little bit more room? From your downward facing dog, take a deep inhale through the nose and sigh out the mouth. And again. Last one. Now inhale, carefully lift the left leg up behind you. And as you exhale, step that left foot forward between the hands. We'll keep the back knee lifted. Of course, you can lower if you want more support. Take the left foot to the left a couple inches just to help with balance. And then when you're ready, come on up and we'll set up for a high lunge. And check in with the hips for a moment to see that they're mostly in line with one another. So maybe encouraging the left hip back a little bit, the right hip forward. The back foot stays active the whole time, so really press that ball of the foot to the floor and then reach the arms forward. As you inhale, lean forward and reach with the fingertips. As you exhale, make fists and then row the arms back. And then inhale, reach, lean. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale. And exhale. And 3 more. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it in. Now pause, give the shoulder blades a squeeze. And stay here for an inhale. And lower the back knee to the floor and release the arms. You can pad the back knee if it needs more support. And reach the right arm up towards the ceiling and then bend the elbow hand towards the back of the head or neck. Mindful that you're not putting too much pressure on the head. Left hand can find the right elbow. Now press down through the feet, take an inhale, lengthen the whole right side, and as you exhale, arc over towards the left any amount. Now left hand can stay where it is. If it's more supportive to bring the left hand to the hip, then go for it. And then find that stretch through the whole right side. And keep the bind, but take your inhale to come back up. And now with your exhale, got that right elbow outside the left knee, palm open. You can bring the left hand on top. If being in a twist down here doesn't work, then you can stay up here. But press the palms together either way, find some space for the chest, find that length, tailbone to crown. Back knee can lift if you want a more challenging expression. Breathe here. Awesome. Stay for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, unravel to center, bring the fingertips to the floor. And now look around. It might be useful to have your strap and maybe your hard block nearby. We'll lift the back knee up, spin the right heel to the floor. Left hand can find the inside of the left leg, and this is where you might choose to be on a block instead. We're going to take a bind from this expression so you can take your strap over towards your right hand and reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Now, modified extended side angle shape, so you can stay exactly here. You can come with me for a half bind or for a whole bind. If you're coming for the half bind, then reach the strap hand behind you. Let the strap dangle between the legs, and you can stay exactly here. If you're going for the full bind, then think about de-weighting the left hand, reaching it through to catch the other end of the strap. You might walk the hands a little closer together, but mindful that that right shoulder doesn't start to dip towards the floor. Keep the chest really proud. And then press the knee to the elbow to the knee. Press the feet into the floor. Really lengthen from the right heel to the crown of the head. And breathe here. Awesome. Gently release the hands down to the floor. We'll lower the right knee down, step the left leg back, and give the hips a little bit of movement. And see where you want to go from here. I'm going to talk through a flow, but if you'd rather come straight to child's pose, then go for it and we'll meet there. Otherwise, lifting the knees, pressing the hips back to downward facing dog. And then when you're ready with an inhale, shift forward to plank pose. And with your exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, cobra as you inhale, peel the chest up. Hands soften. And then inhale for tabletop, hips to heels, find your child's pose. And from your child's pose, checking in and taking a scan through the body just to notice. Notice the breath here, notice the quality of your inhales and exhales. You don't have to move until you feel ready to. Wherever you are, when you're ready, taking the next few breaths, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. If there's a shape you need along the way, or maybe a couple rounds of cat-cow, then go for it. And take a few breaths for your transition. And when you do arrive in down dog, take a moment to set yourself up, find your foundation, find that sense of stability. The hands and feet pressing to the floor, the hips lifting up towards the ceiling, head can hang heavy. And together, a deep inhale, and deep exhale. And twice more. When you're ready, inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Back knee stays lifted, maybe right foot to the right a few inches. Press the feet down as you're ready, coming up to a high lunge. And take a moment to adjust, take a moment to find the foot placement that feels best here. Encouraging that right hip back, the left hip forward. Back foot stays super active. And then arms reach towards the front. Inhale, reach forward, lean forward. Make your fists and row the arms as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And like you're pulling a bar, pull it in. Keep going. Last few. Last one, and we'll pause. So giving the shoulder blades a squeeze, stay for an inhale and an exhale. One last inhale and release the arms, give them a little shake and lower the back knee down to the floor. Feel free to add padding. Left arm reaches up and bend the elbow. Right hand can come to cup it. Inhale, breath, lengthen the whole left side. As you exhale, arc over to the right. And again, the right hand can come down to the hip if that feels more stable for you. Otherwise, keep breathing that stretch from the left knee all the way up to the left elbow. And keep your bind. Inhale, breath, lift. And exhale, guide the left elbow outside the right knee, palm up. You can stay or bring the right hand to it. Either way, maybe pressing the palms, finding a little more room for the chest. If you lifted the back knee on the first side, then do the same here. And breathe into whatever stretch you're feeling. And stay here for an inhale and an exhale. Your next inhale, unravel, and bring the hands to the floor. Lift the back knee up, spin the back heel to the floor. Maybe a block for your right hand and maybe your strap for your left. And press down the right hand to the floor, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. You can stay here for half bind, bring the left hand towards that right hip, strap dangling between the legs. Or for full bind, reach through, catch the other end of the strap, maybe walk the hands a little closer, but don't compromise that space from shoulder to shoulder, that length from the tailbone to the crown. Breathe here. And stay here. Take a deep inhale. And stay. Exhale. Inhale, release the bind, bring the hands down, and then lower the left knee, lower the right. You can go straight to child's pose or head to downward facing dog, and we'll take a flow. And from your down dog, if you're with me, inhale breath, come forward to plank. Exhale breath, lower all the way down. And cobra pose, inhale, and lower, exhale. And tabletop, and child's pose. In child's pose, any expression, knees together or apart, arms forward, arms back. Only when you feel ready to move on, make your way to downward facing dog. And taking about 5 breaths to get there. Any movement, any shape you need along the way. And from your down dog, when you're ready, take a mindful inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. And as you exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands, spin the right heel to the floor. We'll come up to warrior two, but you can bring your strap with you so you're ready. When you're ready, inhale breath, cartwheel the arms up, and come and find your shape. And don't worry too much about where the feet are pointing. Find a sense of stability here. Left foot mostly forward, right foot mostly to the side. And you can play with the relationship between front and back foot. Arms reaching, shoulders soft, and gaze can be forward, to the side. Maybe close down the eyes here. Really find that connection of the feet pressing into the floor. All right, when you're ready, we'll take the strap into the left hand and then reach the left arm up towards the ceiling and bend the left elbow, and the strap will dangle behind you. Then reach the right arm back, thumb pointing down, and then bend the right elbow to catch the other end of the strap. From here, you might walk the hands a little closer together, but again, notice if the chest starts to cave in, see if you can prioritize keeping the space for the chest and the shoulders. From here, press the front foot down and extend the front leg. If you need to shorten your stance a little for triangle, then go for it. Otherwise, from here, start to lengthen from the left hip to the left elbow. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to hinge your way forward for triangle. Find that length from the left elbow, imagine towards the right hip, and then really press the feet into the floor to support you here. And you can come to where you normally come. You might be a little more upright because you don't have the support of that left hand. Breathe into your shape. Really find that strength for the legs, the spine. Last couple. All right, inhale breath, come on up, spin the left foot in, and then release the arms, will fold over the legs. Maybe give the head a nod, yes and no, a few circles to release the neck. If there's anything you need to adjust in the body, then go for it. If for any reason being in the fold doesn't work, feel free to stay in more of a halfway lift shape if that's better for the back. Releasing the fingertips down to the floor, come to a halfway lift, and then spin the left foot back towards the top, walk your way forward, and we'll step back to downward facing dog. And taking about 8 breaths in between sides, you're welcome to stay in down dog. You can come to child's pose instead. If you need movement, feel free to flow or cat-cow. Be wherever you need to be. When you feel ready to move on from your down dog, take an inhale, lift the right leg up behind you, and step the right foot forward between the hands, spin the left heel down. Find your strap if you're using it, and when you're ready, cartwheel the arms up, and we'll find a warrior 2. The side may feel a little different, so again, take a moment and play around with your foundation. Find that length in the spine, shoulders stacking roughly above the hips. Gaze wherever feels comfortable or close down the eyes. And taking the strap to the right hand when you're ready, and we'll reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, and then bend the right elbow, hand towards the back of the head. Left arm reaches back, thumb pointing down, hinge that elbow, catch the other end, and you might walk the hands a little closer, but again, prioritize length and space. Press the front foot towards straight. Find some length from that right hip to the left elbow. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to reach the right elbow towards the front of the room. Lengthen from the left hip to the right elbow. Really keep the legs active, keep the spine active, the core is engaged. Breathe here. All right, a little different for the exit here. Inhale, breath, come on up. And as you exhale, this time we'll bring the hands to the floor and step to downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths, movement or stillness, and shake out whatever you need here. All right, and when you're ready, inhale, breath, come forward to plank, and lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Awesome. So from the belly, we'll extend the left arm out towards the left, and then reach the right arm forward. We'll work with just the right side of the body, so the left hand, the left foot are there anchoring you in space. Really lengthen from the right fingertips to the right toes. Press the pelvis to the floor, and with an inhale, lift the right arm, the right leg, any amount. As you exhale, slowly touch them down. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. 5 more with your breath. Last one. Awesome. When the side touches down, you can extend the right arm to the right and then reach the left arm forward. We'll set for the second side. And take a moment, really anchor through the right hand and foot, through the pelvis. Lengthen the left fingertips, lengthen from the left toes. Inhale, breath, lift left arm, left leg, any amount. And exhale, lower. A few more, your breath. Last 2. And when the arm and leg touch down, you can stack the palms underneath the forehead. Give the hips a little movement side to side, maybe rock the head as well, and just pause. When you feel ready to set up for the next shape, you can reach the left arm back towards the front, and then reach the right arm back to catch the right foot. We'll be working with a shape kind of like a hybrid between bow pose, where we normally hold on to both feet, and locust pose, where we'd keep the arms maybe by the sides or reaching forward. So in a moment, we'll set up and lift everything we can up off the floor. So don't worry too much about what the shape ends up looking like. And if there's something you want to work with more than something else, then see about that. For starters, if the foot's a little far away, you're welcome to use your strap here. And then once you set up in the shape, see if you can keep the gaze forward the whole time. Try not to turn the neck once you come up. And from here, notice the pelvis really press it into the floor, and know that nothing has to lift up that you don't want to lift up. And take a moment to lengthen here from the left toes to the left fingertips, and secure the right foot in the right hand. And when you're ready with an inhale, lift everything you can up off the floor. If you're holding the hand and the foot, then you can start to kick the right foot into the right hand and see what effect that has on the body. Breathe here for 5 deep breaths, and you can always lower sooner if that's what you need. When you're ready, slowly lower everything to the floor. And take a moment, stack the palms under the forehead, and slide the left knee up towards the left for a half frog. And breathe here. And as you're ready, re-extend the right leg, and we'll set that up for the second side. You can start off reaching the arms forward, and then we'll bend the left knee to catch hold of the left foot. And this side may feel different, so maybe you'll use props differently, or maybe you'll modify your shape. And take a moment to press the pelvis into the floor. Find that length, right toes to the right fingertips. With an inhale, as you're ready, lift everything you can up off the floor. And connecting hand and foot, really start to kick the foot into the hand and breathe into your shape. Embrace the wobbles. Last deep inhale and lower everything to the floor. And stack palms under the forehead. This time, left knee slides out to the left. And breathe here. And the left leg can re-extend when you're ready. And any way you like, flip yourself onto your back. Just make sure that your straps are nearby, or your props rather. Awesome. And then once you make your way onto your back, we're going to work with the left leg first, so you can release the right leg towards straight, or you can keep it bent. You might see what feels better in your body. Either way, we'll take the strap and we'll loop the left foot. And start off by extending the leg towards straight. Really press the hip bones, the tailbone into the floor. You can have one end of the strap in each hand. And just breathe here for a few breaths. As you inhale, point the toes up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, press the heel up towards the ceiling. A few rounds with your breath. Awesome. Now take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Bring the left thumb to the left hip. Really using the hand to keep the hip to the floor the whole time. Notice there might be a tendency for it to want to lift, but in order to target the outside of the leg, it helps to keep the hip down. So from here, right leg might extend. Start to take the right foot over, or the left foot over to the right, just until, or as long as you can keep the hip to the floor, and notice what stretch you're feeling through the outside of the leg. Make sure it's not excruciating. Breathe into it. All right, with an inhale breath, lift the leg up to center, and now just switch the strap over to the left hand. We'll start to open that left leg over towards the left, so you can just go slow and take it as it comes. I find lowering the left elbow to the floor can kind of work as a kickstand for you. And if you need to modify or use the strap differently, then please do. Right hand might go to the right hip this time as a counterweight, or maybe out towards the right. And notice whatever stretch you're feeling through the inside of that left leg. All right, you might need to bend the knee to bring the leg back over. And you can re-extend the leg up towards the ceiling. We'll take the straps into the right hand one more time, this time setting for a twist, so it might help to take the hips over to the left a little bit. And then this time we'll let the left hip lift, let the right foot or the left foot lower down to the floor, and then see where you end up. You might need to adjust. If for any reason this is too intense with the leg extended, feel free to bend the knee, maybe stack a prop under it. You can also take a different version of twist altogether. If you have space and you'd like to take it to a variation called cat pulling its tail, you might think about bending the right knee. Maybe you'll reach the left hand down to catch hold of the right foot. Whatever your twist ends up looking like, settle into it. Find your breath. As you're ready to release, you can release the right foot if you're holding it. You can bend the left knee. You can let the strap come off as you unravel back to center. And take the hips to midline. Pause for a few breaths here. Choose stillness, maybe resting knees together. Maybe you prefer to windshield wiper. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we'll set up for the second side. So you can loop the right foot, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, one end of the strap in either hand. Really plug that right side of the pelvis down to the floor. And then with your breath, inhale, point the toes towards the ceiling. Exhale, point the heel. A few with your breath. Coming back to center as you're ready. We'll take both ends of the strap to the left hand, right hand keeping the right hip pressed towards the floor, and guide the right foot over to the left just until you start to feel that deep stretch through the outside of the left leg. Breathe into it. The strong belly, start to lift the leg back up to center. You can switch the strap over to the right hand. And we'll start to let the right leg open towards the right. Right hand might be to the hip, might be out to the side. Right knee or left knee, if it's bent, you can also wing that out or you can extend it. Generally mirror whatever you did on the first side. Right elbow might be useful here, like a kickstand. Breathe into that stretch to the inside line of the right leg. When comes time to come out, maybe think about bending the right knee a little bit first to help you exit, and keeping the strap, extending the leg, now the strap to the left hand, and setting up for the twist. So maybe hips over to the right a few inches, and start to guide the right foot down all the way down towards the left. See what this side feels like. If you want to explore reaching down, maybe catching the right foot or the left foot with the right hand, then go for it. Your version of a twist, this or any other, settle into it. Gently release the right leg, release the strap, release the left, and bring the legs back to center. And take a few breaths here. You can windshield wiper or choose stillness, see what the body prefers. And whatever you found, you can keep it going for as long as it serves you. And when you feel ready, we'll bring the knees to the chest and take happy baby. So you can reach between the knees, catch hold of feet, ankles, or shins, maybe feet up like they're standing on the ceiling. Mindful of the low back here, that it stays quiet, maybe keeping the pelvis grounded. Stillness, maybe a rock side to side or any other movement that you need here. And when you're ready, we'll bring the soles of the feet together, lowering the feet down to the floor to set up for butterfly. So you can choose to have the feet pretty close to the pelvis or further away, see what the hips prefer, and then see if it feels more comfortable to bring a hand under either side of the pelvis just to support the hips so that they have something to open into. You can also use blocks if you have a couple nearby. If you're really comfortable in this shape and you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, then you're welcome to, for part of it or for all of it. If you'd rather come to the more traditional shape, then you might guide the knees together. If you need a little stretch or a windshield wiper, go for it. Whenever you feel ready, you can extend the legs long down the mat. And check in here if there's anything you need to adjust on the body or with your props. Find a comfortable place for the arms. You can let the breath return to its natural inhale and exhale as you let the body get heavy here. And start to settle yourself into your rest. And gently bring your attention back to the space, and deepening your breath to reawaken the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, keeping the head a gentle rock side to side. And circling wrists and ankles. And when you're ready, you reach the arms up to the floor overhead. And with the arms extended, scoot the hips over to the right a few inches, and then take both feet towards the bottom left corner of the mat, maybe right ankle over left, and both arms towards the top of the mat, maybe right wrist into left. And keep the right side of the pelvis really heavy and take a few deep breaths. Find that stretch through the whole right side of the body. And then when you're ready, release the arms, the legs back to center, and scoot the hips to midline, then over to the left. The feet towards the bottom right, maybe left ankle over right, arms towards the top right. And keep the pelvis heavy, breathe through that whole left line. And releasing the arms, the legs, the hips, all back to center. We'll bend the knees and bring the knees in towards the chest. Wrapping the arms around the shins, give yourself a hug and a rock side to side. And you can come down to one side to transition, or start to rock up and down the length of the spine, mindful that there's not pressure on the neck. And think about it like a massage for those muscles that run alongside the spine. Awesome. And then when you feel ready, you start to build up some momentum and come up to find any comfortable seated position. And you can use any of the props that you have around for support. Finding any comfortable position, any comfortable shape here. Notice the parts of the body that are touching the floor. Gently ground them and rebound the spine. Lengthen that back line of the neck, maybe that slight tuck of the chin towards the throat. And take these last few moments of your practice to check in with the body, with the breath, with the mind. Without judgment or anything, just check in, see where you're at. Perhaps connecting the hands in at the heart, bowing the chin towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your breath in your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for your Hatha practice. And again, my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and have a great week.